matter anymore for those purposes, at least.
He was not expecting that they stuck around there.
Yeah.
Oof, that feels so bad. It's one thing to die there, but you know you had literally 1 second and you just wanted to save that little bit of efficiency by walking out early.
Yeah. Min-maxing.
Oof, that feels so bad. That's one of those risk-reward scenarios where you're like, really?
Literally,
you know?
1 second and you just wanted to save that little bit of efficiency.
All right, this is, I love the Aghanim Scepter for ILTW that he's working on now. He's going to get time dilation off into the reverse time lock. Goodness gracious, what a play. Boomy. All right, still being chased here. ILTW doesn't have the reverse time locking on now. It might be in a precarious spot. They're just going to blow him up. Should have reversed time lock sooner.
He just lost his Aegis to the timer.
Yeah. Well, that went off like 5. Like that was a decent amount of time before that. He still went in. But Kuroki getting chased. Of course, extremely tanky. Is Martha just going to use the zone?
You gotta wonder if he even noticed. Like, did he swap an item into the slot before?
That's a good question.
Or did he do it after he died?
I mean, it does make a very loud sound, but if you listen to music or something,
he couldn't hear it because of all the hawk dive bombs into the slot.
The sound that doesn't exist right now. Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of white noise. We can't hear it as casters, but in the game, it's like, you know when you use global sounds and all sound stuffs, that's what the dive bombs do.
I see. Wow, that's very lore friendly too.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be the opposite. It should deafen you. Like you should be hearing like that, you know, that high pitched sound when you hear something too loud.
Like you
But it should be like
flashbang in Counter-Strike.
Yeah, exactly. Just get flashbang. I mean, they have concussive grenade for sniper, so they're getting closer to Counter-Strike every day.
Sniper flashbang as a spell. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool. I think it makes more sense for like Night Stalker though. As gets a D-Ward, but it might cost him his life. Mystic Flare Spear, not the greatest layering, but it's more than enough damage.
It'll do.
It'll do.
Is the tower down?
Great job, Raid King Skeletons. You're doing God's work right now.
Okay, I feel like everybody calls the skeletons something different. What do you call them?
Just skeletons.
You call them skeletons.
Yeah, why? What else do you call them?
I call them the boys.
Oh.
It's my boys.
I see.
I call them different things. Maybe those are literally the only two things. Maybe I'm literally the only person that calls them skeletons. I don't know.
I've never heard anyone else call them the boys, but
my boys.
They are brainwashed. I wonder what the lore behind them are, because they really have a mind of their own, and they make the wrong decision many times. They don't like to aggro a lot of the times, and you have to brainwash fire back classic creep wave so that they come next to you. Bottom lane, another pick on the Nyx Scepter. So this Aghanim Scepter really, I mean, hasn't been that many fights, but hasn't paid off yet, that's for sure.
I'm not really sold on that item on Nyx in general, because I feel like it's an item that, you know, my favorite thing to talk about with like setting up the right conditions to use your heroes and items, right?
The boring stuff, yeah.
It needs a specific kind of fight before you feel really good about it, right? You need to either be pre-dug before the fight begins, or you need to spend time doing it. And it's 4,200 gold that could have been almost an E-Blade, or could have been a Yule's plus and a Halberd, you know, which it's easier to find the use of those in any given fight. The axe can be incredible in the right kind of fight, but are you going to get those? Right. Maybe his hope is that if I'm Burrowed, I'm not going to die in Chrono to Skyrath. I think he's still going to die. But maybe the tankiness is worth it. I don't know. Like maybe that's
it's 40. I think it's 40% damage reduction, which is huge.
It is a lot.
So I can't blame him for thinking that, because he's going to get missed. But the problem is, like you're saying, that they set up for Skyrath in every way. Like that's what Skyrath kind of wants, right?
And they have no way of saving him if he's Chrono. There's nothing that.
Well, if you get Gobble Up for Snapfire,
Gobble Up,
the range on that is not going to be super high.
And I guess they do have a glimmer. We'll see. Maybe I'll eat my words in 5 minutes because it's just doesn't feel that great.
I mean, for high ground defense, which looks like they might be up against here, right? That it
obviously,
is good.
If that's what he was itemizing for, if he was like, we're in trouble, I need to defend my base, then it's the best item you can buy.
But he did go for it really early. It was quite even at that time.
He committed to it 15, 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't know. Helps all your spells. It gives you a lot of range on Impale and or the cooldown reduction as well. Like it does so much. But yeah, we'll see.
If you ever find the kind of fight that you want, it's going to be amazing.
I mean, the problem so far is he's kind of been in front, which that's more of a backline spell or a backline burrow, right?
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of the time at least.
It's good if you're in front, as long as you're in front when the fight starts, but it's really difficult, right? Like, let's say he opens out of Vendetta and then stuns and wants to burrow, he just gets silenced by Skywrath.
Right.
Or he can get hit by any stun or all this stuff. So usually in these games, it's probably going to be better to have it precast. You need to have a very good read of when the enemy team is going somewhere, so that you can either like break a smoke into a long-range impale, or
boys.
get a good air.
Well, actually, we can't use that. It's copyright. That's a show. It's a really good show. You should watch that, Synderen. That's my next recommendation for you.
Okay.
Aghanim Scepter almost online for ILTW. Will not have buyback anytime soon, though, as we will find out in about 40 seconds where the next Roche is. So the Aghanim Scepter for Mr. Void, he basically bashes everything that he time walks through. And again, it does not work on reverse time walk.
But it still gives him a lot of burst now that he has reverse time walk, where he can walk through the enemy team and just go straight back, make sure he sets up stuns for combinations with Skywrath, combinations with Beastmaster, even with Mars.
Yeah, and keep in mind, he took I believe he took the talent that reduces cooldown on the time walk as well, which is obviously what you want if you go for this build. All right, another Toxin ends up killing one of the Hawks. Didn't hear the squeal. There's no death sound. It really bothers me. It's just like this silent grave.
Well, to be fair, his Hawks are pterodactyls, and we have no recordings of what they sound like. They might have been mute.
Okay, that is a good point. We don't have enough information to know whether they had... I mean, we can tell if they had vocal cords, probably, based on scientific evidence. Probably somebody in chat knows that they're, the evidence does exist.
I think everyone in chat right now is literally spelling out what they sound like.
Okay. Oh, we're going to have the roar come out from Miracle. And it seems to be that Boomy has just found his way on the other side of this so many times now. Looks like they still want to fight. He's going to buy back into the game. Hiroki looks like he falls right away. Mind Control can pop the BKB, gets that Mars ult off, but Bok's just going to walk out of his own accord. LTW looks like he is just resetting completely. Coil onto one. Pims, he's in his form right now in the burrow. Chronosphere onto a couple of heroes, including that Nyx Assassin. The Mystic Blade that we talked about. Just not enough damage mitigation for him. He's going to buy back into the game, though. This is now a 4v5, technically speaking. Cheese is popping ILTW. Do they have the damage to finish him off? Looks like they do not. Wait, there's the arm now coming with the burst damage. That is enough. No buyback for ILTW. TNC, they get the kills. It did require buybacks, but now Roche is up. This is a big deal.
That's a dieback from Kuro.
Refresher Shard, which, I mean, you're always hoping for the Ags, I feel like. That just increases your net worth, and it's just a free item. Refresher Shard, just a consumable. But
you know what? That Ags on Nyx was actually really good there, even though he died.
Yeah, it took a while to kill him.
It took them quite a while. They did kill him, but he had the buyback, so he could come back in and then again burrow and get some good stuns off toward the end. Also, I really love the way TNC started that fight, where it's an Ench on the front line who feels tanky and wants to soak damage. They stun the Ench, they nether Toxin, they get
I hear another roar. Oh man, the Mystic Flare. That is actually just enough.
1k gold.
Wow. Goodness gracious. Yeah, the Ancient Seal obviously amplifying even more damage. That's absurd.
That is so much money.
Yeah, hey, with that fight, though, this game has evened up in net worth completely.
All right.
All right, Atos. Cookie's going to try to save the Wraith King here. Does have the Aegis, so has many lives as long as they can wait out the cooldown here.
Miracle needs to be a little bit careful how he throws his axes when he's playing against Spike Carapace. Like, he can get stunned at any given point and counters going on.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, Mars Arena, but there's the BKB. How did he get stunned if he has BKB? What was that?
Missed a roar.
Did he get... I thought he roared right before that.
Did you not hear the roar?
No, I didn't.
I guess it doesn't have a sound effect, so that does make sense.
I didn't even see the animation. All right, Box going to BKB TP out. And again, Snapfire is going to be the sacrificial lamb for TNC, but that's worked out pretty well for them already.
I like that play from Gabby to BKB there. Even though he had Aegis, he wants to protect the Aegis. He thinks it has enough value that it's worth burning BKB to get out.
Yeah,
I do think that's right. Especially, I mean, he might have had to do it anyway because Armel is dead, so he would have to BKB his third life and then TP out. So might as well do it while he still have the Aegis intact. Now, I'm not sure if I like the decision of giving him the Aegis to begin with, though. Because they were there with Puck, right, on the Roche. I think he was able to take it.
Yeah.
I will say, right? He didn't die in that fight, so...
Yeah. I think they gave the shard, or the shard, the
refresher.
the refresher shard to
Yeah.
Snapfire, if I'm not mistaken. Which they just don't have an amazing carrier for it. I get Puck would maybe be the best.
Pretty damn good on Puck, in my opinion. Double axe coil is no joke. But
Either way, I mean, Miracle is now level 25, which our beautiful observer was showing the talent that was kind of put in after the nerfs to be able to increase the damage axes. So if you're able to get level 25, it's almost like having the old Ags. Something I'm trying to remember, was it 8? Was it 80 extra damage that you got? I can't remember. That
40, then it was 30, and then it was 0.
Right, so 40, 30, 0, and now you get the 40 back through 25. So, and he has the Octarine Core, so he's basically peaked. This is as strong as he's going to get. He actually gets the Timeless Relic as well, which is insanely good.
He is so strong.
I guess he can eat his Ags. Oh no, he still has a slot for his bottle, so Sheepstick looks to be next. But he's, I think in terms of damage, this is his peak, basically.
You could get Kaiosange, which was a popular item for Beastmasters to get back then as well.
Yeah.
The status resistance and the damage amp, the mono regen, all really good items, or really good stats for the Beastmaster build. In a way, I would kind of like that more than the Hex, just because they're buying Hex on Sky. Like, I don't know if they need two, but it's obviously going to feel good no matter what. And since he has the cast range and the cooldown reduction of Octarine, it is a really powerful item for sure.
Yeah, you want clickables.
Yep.
I mean, the Puck might have to go for the Lincoln Sphere or something, because if you get Hex, you're just dead.
I think it needs
this stage of the game.
I think it needs Disc or BKB at this
and
point.
Disc as well would be a good choice.
I don't know if you like
Wind
BK.
Waker. Wow.
You probably don't like BKB actually. You're against Roar and Chrono. It doesn't. You don't really feel that safe anyway. So yeah.
All right, Kuro getting chased by Tims. He's going to put down a sentry, so he knows what's coming. But the fourth step just in time. Armel gets the Yules off, but not going to follow it up with anything, it looks like.
That was a really scary position for TNC. I think backing out is a good call. Yeah, I feel like Puck with this Wind Waker is going to aim to save from Roar. Whoever gets roared, he's going to try to save. Doesn't matter who it is. It's going to buy the time necessary. And then, like, it's probably going to see the disc. But I don't actually know if he even wants to do that either.
Yeah, Wind Waker, not an item we get to see too often. You can, like you said, you can use your teammates, and if you use yourself, you can move around for a bit, which is pretty cool. It's just so expensive. I feel like this item, I don't know if they're going to change things, but I would assume the price is maybe on the top of the list. I mean, a lot of the new items they put in are just not picked up, right? I mean, this one feels like a big luxury, so maybe it's not on the same level as, what is that item that we always talk about that reduces magic damage for enemies?
Mage Slayer?
Mage Slayer, there we go, thank you. It's a cool concept, just very bad right now, sadly.
It got buffed 200 gold in cost, and still nobody buys it.
Yeah, it needs to be a lot cheaper still, I think. I mean, the stats are good. Like, if certain agility heroes are like, it sounds kind of good, but in practice, it doesn't feel very impactful, you know?
I think the problem is you always need to hold it up against what else you can buy, right? It's 3,200 gold. Right. It doesn't give you anything defensive except against magic heroes. So in order to feel like it's worth it, you probably want 2 enemy cores to be magic damage. Like, let's say you're playing against... That's the thing, right? Who builds a lineup right now in Dota that doesn't have a physical damage safe lane carry, right? Like, there's always going to be 1, maybe 2 cores that it's not good against, and then you're pigeonholing yourself into having to hit the guy that it's good against, only to not get killed by the other guys. And you don't get the benefits of having like a self-dispel from Manta, or having a BKB, or having Pastor farming, because it's also not good farming value for the cost, right? You could have had a Maelstrom instead, or 2/3 of a Battle Fury. So
yeah, very true.
I think there's literally one pub I played in the last month where someone bought it where I was like, damn, that was a good buy. And I think we had a safe lane Lesh and a mid Zeus or something like that. Yeah. Then it was really good. But
I mean, ILTW, he's almost done with a nullifier. So that'll counter Ghost Scepters, Aeon Discs, and all the left. So
does it counter the Wind Waker too?
It should, right?
I think the Wind Waker is dispellable like any Yules, right?
Yeah,
we almost never see this item, but he's like, whatever.
But I don't believe like Sheep would not. I don't think it works against Sheep. We can't use it on allies anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, Nullifier is a really cool item. I mean, the fact that ILTW does not have remotely close money for buyback is a little scary if you're an Enigma fan, but because this game is extremely even. But this is a pretty freaking hype game, I have to say. We're going to see late game Gabby here with a Nullifier Bloodborne. Still has Still has the casual Zane. This item's too good still, apparently. Does he turn that into something, or is he just going to get some big boy item like a rapier or something like that?
I think he's going to replace it. There's not Halberd doesn't feel worth it, I think.
I feel like Aghanim Scepter is really good this game, although the next Roche might just give you one for free, so...
Yeah.
Wraith King Ags is, I think, severely underrated in these late game scenarios.
See, so I feel like in many ways, Spider Legs is the single best tier 3 item in the game for this reason.
Yes.
When you get to this game state, you have an inventory slot that other heroes don't, because you have free boots. And yeah, you're trading it off for, say, Paladin Sword, where you have some damage and lifesteal, but the fact that he doesn't need to dedicate a slot to Boots of Travel, Treads, or Phase Boots is just so damn good right now.
That's true.
So,
and Gabby's actually holding the Refresher Shard, so probably will pop that in for his BKB when he uses it. Yep. Gabby's going to initiate with that Nullifier. Looks like it's going to be used against the A on this, and GH is just dead at the beginning of the fight. Boyle onto Miracle. It's the buyback onto GH. Now there's the Roar. Again, it's on the Wraith King. Oh, nice impale from afar, thanks to that Aghanim Scepter on Nyx Assassin. And it looks like that is going to be the fight for TNC big time, despite the buyback coming out. But GH, can he get this kill? He will. He does get Armel in the end, despite being completely outnumbered. Now, keep in mind that buybacks are still there for Nigma. If they want to use these to try to turn things around, ILTW not able to get much off here as Gabby will actually pop the Refresher Shard to be able to get his ult back, as there's a double buyback. They're TPing into the Shrine as well, but looks like GX takes a tumble already with that Nullifier usage. ILTW going ham with the Aghanim Scepter onto Boom right now. They're trying to kite Gabby as much as possible, but these Spider Legs are coming into handy big time. There's 2 buybacks now for TNC. There's a Nullifier again onto ILTW, who has absolutely no mana whatsoever. Trying to get slows onto Gabby, trying to kite this guy. Just one-shots that boar. Now Kuroki, very tanky on the run. It's still 5 versus 3 despite all these buybacks coming in. A couple right clicks will suffice, and it looks like Kuroki finds his way to the grave. They do get the Snapfire though.
Was that that was the Refresher Shard used by Wraith King, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that was so good. He used it to refresh his blink. Like they actually they get the double chase because of this, and the reason he is willing to commit it is that he knows it's a dieback for Skyrath if he dies. So that alone forced out the buybacks from Miracle and Kuro, and they just get so many bonus kills. Yeah, he's not going to get
into the dive. Tops the A on this. That's pretty valuable. There's a spike carapace. This might set things up. There's the coil. So he can stay on the outskirts of this. Pops the BKB. The Nullifier's already applied. It looks like the right-click damage will be more than enough. And this is a dive back onto Miracle. TNC turning this game around. Roshan in 35 seconds. See what buildings they can get. I mean, this is a full 2 minutes without the strongest hero on your team.
If they're feeling really ballsy, they could go for the game. I think they're probably going to get 2 lanes.
And then Roche?
Or 1 lane in Roche if they want to be really safe. But they don't know the exact Roche timer. I don't know if this was an early or late Roche.
I mean, they're taking buildings so fast. They know this is a dieback.
Oh, they have the poison attack talent. They could actually end.
They're going for two racks for now. Of course, they cannot get megas because of this top lane. Also getting pushed out by LTW overall. And that's a shard on Viper. This is super good. This is minus armor on buildings. Unbelievably strong. They did nerf it a little bit because of that talent change, but it looks like they'll be able to finish this game. Fortifications popped. Still 77 seconds. No Miracle. The minus armor is just going to continue to stack on these towers as Gabby's right clicks will be more than enough. Mind control. They're going to try to defend for one last hurrah. There's the initiation, but again, Wraith King. We have the Mystic Flare applied. There's the Nullifier onto ILTW, who jumps in. Pops the BKB. Chronosphere onto 3 heroes. This is only going to be the first life for Wraith King. And now Nigma have to reset, but it's still 5 versus 4. And Viper continuing to apply pressure. This tier 4 tower looks like TNC are going to respect Nigma, and with that 45-second window, we'll try to get Roshan, I assume.
I think they can when Wraith King ulti is up. I think they're just waiting for that.
Yeah, that's true. All right, still 37 seconds. Gonna get this tier 4 tower.
Siege engine.
Yeah, this shard is insane for these purposes. Exactly. ILTW, reverse time walk. Tim's, look at his positioning. They cannot get to him whatsoever. The chrono's down. Just trying to be as annoying as possible. I mean, this is buying time for Miracle to come back in 20 seconds. ILTW continue to be an annoying presence. Gabby just has so many lives, it feels like, as there's a spear into the Ancient, but the damage is still being applied. Gabby is just focusing on the Ancient completely. Mars ult comes out. He's just going to spider legs and right-click it down, and TNC takes game 1. My goodness. This was a hell of a game, Cinder.
We've been having so many pretty one-sided games. That was very enjoyable to watch. I think the Nyx Axe was wonderful.
Thank you, Cinderin, for admitting it finally. The hoodwink as well of the previous series.
Absolutely. I just love being wrong. It's a chronicle. It's a condition I have.
Chronic condition for you. All right.
No, so I think overall the main thing in this game was there was a couple of moments where Nick.
Of the team that.
Okay, well, let's find out who's gonna take a head start here in this two-game series. We're heading over to a commentary duo of Odie Pixel and Fog.
All right, guys, I know we probably lost this game.
I thank you,
but we can
Sheev.
still do
PSG
this.
LGD versus Team Liquid. Minus armor aplenty versus Team Liquid's more unorthodox approach. A Pugna to counteract it. Owen, how do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Liquid can do with these cores. Yeah, the Pugna coming in for Samael. Always happy to see what he's able to do on that. But yeah, I don't think it seems easy. I'm a little scared of Heroes on Liquid just getting blown up by this physical burst that PSG LGD is going to be jumping with.
Yeah, and the last pick for me is interesting because it continues to go with that element of amplifying damage and all that, but it's a scouting mechanism that's the biggest thing for me. Not only will they have TA traps now, but they'll have an Elder Titan Spirit to find that Pugna, and if they find the Pugna's dead. This looks like a really strong draft from PSG LGD. It's ticking all the boxes. Eyes on Pugna, eyes on Sumail. I've seen this matchup. Of course, everyone knows that legendary matchup back at TI. Things have changed since then, though. Decrepify very strong in the laning phase versus TA, but now TA has a small camp to work with, so you can always get that extra farm versus a hero like Pugna, even if you are decrept early on. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, see how much Samael can mess with him in the lane.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, I know
we'll get the lane setups coming up.
Still do this.
And what do you think about this sort of? How is this balance going to work with having Mikhail and Quakefor on a lone druid?
Feels very farm heavy. I feel like these two just have to play their own independent game, and I really do think all of the pressure is on Sumail. He has to do so much this game. I've also not been a big fan of 4 Tiny, not a fan of Tiny in general at this tournament either. The 4, though, is really lackluster. Your team fight usually ends up being really lacking in the game.
Denied.
Yeah, it feels really hard. I don't even know how this bear survives at all in the game. As soon as we start hitting like the 10-minute mark, it feels like this bear is just going to get absolutely decimated from all the minus armor. Also, the damage from Drow will start to get to ridiculous levels, and it's Drow plus TA. So TA has a buff up from marksmanship on top of everything too. I think that's the idea with
quite a ridiculous buff up as well. Yeah.
I think this is the idea with the Monkey King, is getting on top of the Drow Ranger, getting on top of the TA, getting on top of those backline heroes to get rid of marksmanship and get yourselves a way to get your own information, since I feel like PSG LGD has set themselves up for really good information in the game inside the team fights.
I'll be intrigued to see what sort of build Mikke goes for this game. How greedy he does go, considering he has the lone druid on his offlane. If we're going to see something that is going to allow him to get a little more active quite a bit earlier, so we can make moves with Samael.
Yeah, I better see just lots of armor items coming out from the side of Team Liquid, since there's just so much overwhelming minus armor from the side of PSG LGD. So medallions on the supports, ghost scepters on the supports, just anything to try to survive versus the onslaught.
And we're seeing so far in the mid, pretty even, really.
Fairly even.
Very close between the two.
Decrep is annoying. See those denies coming into play for Sumail. Even the constant harassment onto nothing to say. He's got his bottle already. And they will check the rune too, so I like that Taiga's doing this. Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be a bit of a nuisance and for nothing to say. We'll at least have the bounty rune at the 3rd minute for him to go and grab. Taiga making sure that Samael has full control of the river.
Bear's not getting a whole lot down here, Owen. Only got 5 last hits.
I mean, it is just going to be a slow start. There's going to be this bit of the game where Quakefor and I mean, it is going to feel like they're sort of going to be playing without an off lane, you know, for the early part of this game.
They're going to look to slow down, nothing to say in mid lane. I think this is exactly what Taiga needs to do for them to have a hope. Just get Sumail off to a really good start. Won't be able to quite kill him, but will just be obnoxious. And they did secure those bounty runes, or those water runes for Sumail, and Taiga's also going to take away the bounty rune too. So nothing to say. Has no way to fill himself up unless someone TPs.
Just fully trying to slow him down, but yeah, not really doing too much to that progress, and nothing to say. Still having a fine time in the mid matchup.
Not getting any stacks started just yet. Xingqiu will probably get over there shortly. Does want to prioritize lane to set up Faith Beyond for that quick early blink dagger timing. Oh, because he suicided himself to tower on Innocence. Maybe that's why. Oh, maybe he suicided to fill up the mid bottle, perhaps, since he feels like the Drow Ranger's just getting a free lane since the Tiny's moving around.
Oh, they might have made that call, yeah.
Yeah, that's the call. I was gonna say he's not getting runes. They're camping his mid, so they're gonna have to change it. And Drow's getting free farm, so I like that move from PSG LGD. Looks a little weird, but these suiciding to towers, I feel like has gotten more effective now that you get a free TP.
Absolutely, yeah, especially at this early stage on the supports. As you say, it's pretty safe down bottom. Not a lot of extra assistance is needed down here at all.
Nope, getting free farm. And it will be, it looks like a, I guess, phase boot rush onto Quaikva, just armor needed. Tiger making the move top. See what he can get. Xingqiu, can they get the toss back? Mid cookie.
He does.
They can. They can get the skill.
Looking pretty dead. We have a liquid. To get that first blood with that movement. And into the hands of Mickey as well. Already having a nice time farming in the lane.
Very nice, Tiger.
A good bit of a cash bonus.
He's the big one to watch in the early game. Both wards placed aggressively too to watch out for those stacks. Faith Beyond should be just fine. Might even be able to still commit for Insania with another couple hits. Taiga, body blocking, will save his buddy. So we see these deep wards placed from Taiga to watch when those stacks will be coming out for them to attempt for some contest. Sumail already level 6.
Not the end of the world, though. There's another 3 bottle refills given over to the mid. I think he's able to use mana up a bit. Oh, somehow. I mean, at this stage, 41 for 8, 37 for 5. This is... I mean, and nothing. He's not been slowed at all, right? This has just been a straight trade, and this, and you say this is just how this sort of matchup's going to go nowadays with the position Pugna's in.
Yeah, I think things, it just changed. You know, Pugna used to honestly own the matchup. There used to be a very one-sided Pugna matchup even until 6, but now you just leave the lane as well, and you just jungle way faster these Templar sets, and you just have a small camp. So. Secures himself a haste rune too.
Both supports coming around this mid lane, but not really going to be able to do anything. Sumail keeping himself safely in position, and Tiger trying to see if he can get the surprise on this bottom lane whilst those supports were top, but already
he's got to be careful himself. It's a ton of damage that the Drow is going to pump out onto a level 3 Tiny. 0 armor. If he gets stomped, he might just die.
Stomp. I think he will. A couple of hits there. One more will do it. Can he quite get it? He can indeed. There we have it.
Yeah, ridiculous damage that this Drow is going to be dishing out. No fear point either on Quaikva. He's got more of a greedy one. 2 points in Spirit Link. Can't actually bail out his Tiny. And nothing to say. We'll start doing those stacks. Get himself a 3rd stack too, and he's going to be able to clean this one up and continue that advantage over the Pugna. 4 points in the decrep by Sumail. It is a very good decrepify game, but I thought perhaps since he knows the TA is just going straight to jungle, he might try to put some pressure onto the tower. But looks like they're trying to invade and slow down the farm. Perhaps try to go for a kill since they do have that ward vision. He's going to go for it.
Let's see how much Sumail can mess with him. He's going to be able to walk it off, and backup is around and available. Mickey's heading in too. He's actually going to be able to jump in onto Nothing to Say. Nothing to Say tries to get back in on this, and with his body blocks from Mickey, that's the kill on the CA.
And they're going to steal the Ancients too. Nice moves, nice preparation from Liquid. That ward that they placed early on from Taiga, paying off dividends. Sumail even going to fill up his Insania, give him some mana as well too, so he can stay on the map. Or bro play. He can just fill himself back up with the life drain too. Love when you see this from the Pugnas.
I mean, so far, so good from Liquid. They're getting the kills. I guess that bottom lane is just the case of Quakefer. He needs a lot of time on the lane. Pressure's going to be on the supports of Liquid to really be active around Samael. Tiger, the toss back onto Jin-Q. Let's see if they've quite got the damage they don't. The stomp will catch onto Samael, so won't be able to set up to focus down Jin-Q.
I'm glad that Mickey switched it up, didn't point it out, but he had initially queued up treads. I'm glad he goes for phase boots, just early items. Phase, Wraith Bands, Orbit Corrosion. He's ready to battle. 19 armor already on this Monkey King.
Radiant want their middle tower to fall?
He's starting to hit this tower mid.
Let's see what they can get done here. Liquid. I mean, who do you think Liquid is sort of saying right now that they've got to go for? You know, this Drow does seem to be the most appealing target.
I think that's
been left on his island down here on his own.
They can kill a tower so quickly. That's the important thing that they have set themselves up to for Liquid. The Pugna with the Lone Druid, if they can get a single kill, they can probably just take the tower right afterwards too. He's just going to TP out. He sees it coming with that ward. So they should be able to push this tower on the side of Liquid. But nothing to say he is getting space to farm those Ancients now.
So at least give an objective here to allow Quakefer to bump up his bank account a bit. After having a bit of a slow time in the lane. His top net worth right now is still Mickey going straight for the Echo.
Oh, Innocence almost dies to the life train. And starting to get the siege going on mid too. Rotating the supports. How does PSG LGD set up for this defense? No blink yet on the Slardar, so they're just going to go for their own push on the other side. This is one thing they do lack on the
defend against the slow siege of the Pugna.
They don't have great ways to
be inevitable here from Samael.
Yeah, their best spam really is like ET Stomp, which is really lackluster.
Bid farewell to Dire's top tower.
Even Mickey, Liquid know they can position themselves like this. Mickey even quick with the jump there.
Has to be. There's also Quelling Blade on the TA. He has to be very, very careful how he's positioned on these trees. They actually did 3 triple. No, they only have double Quelling Blade. A tower. It's gonna go down. One more blast.
At least.
Ooh.
Honestly, all in all, though, 10 minutes in for the game to be where I think Liquid's going to be rather happy. You've run this offlane Lone Druid and safe lane Monkey King, and even though Quakefer has had a slightly slower start than ideal, they're not done. They're getting away with it, and they'll get coming out on his own into the high ground of Liquid.
They have to slow down his Blink Dagger, because right now it's a little bit of a low period where PSG LGD can't make moves on the map. They're just playing it's very farm-heavy style with TA, with Drow. It is just, they just can't make anything happen. So Liquid is taking advantage of that. Slowing down the Slardar Blink is crucial, because as soon as that Blink comes out, that's when we're going to see the pace of the game kick on. It's a good tower advantage. They're going to look to make a move earlier. Jin-Q has the kisses. Strong Drow too. Dragonlance already done. Cookie will connect.
Yeah, the kisses have a whole lot of damage coming out. The kisses get prioritized over towards Insania though, sort of splitting the targets here, and that actually means that they don't have enough full damage to take down one whole hero. They're ready with a counterplay. Mickey is able to line up the 2-man balance strike. He's in with the Wukong's command straight onto Arme. That's the Drow gone. Liquid. They won't lose anyone here as they punch back. PSG LGD, they're trying to find some action here in what's been rather a slow early game. They're not quite able to get it.
Yeah, it's surprising that they even go for that. There with the Drow and with just the Snapfire, they don't have the +1. If they had the ET there, they can perhaps get 1 or 2 of the kills with the Stomp follow-up. But without Blink Dagger on Slardar, they can't go for these plays. Now they have the Blink, so it's going to be easier for them to set up. But Liquid come out on top. Cook for getting all the space in the world.
Yeah, he's catching up to the farm here of Arme as that gap's closing. And if Liquid do get away with this in this early game, they're going to have essentially double carries here between Mickey and Quakefer.
but the bear will be
Both sort of beastly
eviscerated.
potential.
That's going to be the important thing. The Mask of Madness also reduces its armor too, so it will die even faster. They get the stun connection. Let's see how quick it does die. Where's the TA or the Drow? They're not there. We'll try for it. It's got a bash ready.
Yeah, they should be able to get it anyway, I think. Oh, okay, the fear.
Nope, it's got the rear. Yeah, it
Never
should
mind.
be okay.
Yeah. All right.
I guess they thought
An
maybe...
extra member around.
I guess they thought maybe the Monkey King or someone was around because the Drow ran away. When they got the stomp, when they got the stun connection, they just ran away from it. Didn't prefer to go for any type of hits. I was a bit afraid.
They want to go straight for something else instead with this blink on Faith Beyond. They're looking towards Samael in the mid. So they're going to get the jump straight up with the crush. Can they blow Samael up in time? Well, see the toss from the side here. Tiger trying to split the two of them, so PSG LGD can't commit onto both at the same time, and now the turn comes into play. Liquid with the run down onto Innocence. They've got it. Mickey, one more hit will do the job. Again, PSG LGD tried to poke at Liquid. Liquid just turned and ended up winning the fight. And bottom lane, TP's attempted, but immediately put to stop by the Arme's been caught out on his own. There's no escape for him. Liquid, they'll get themselves another kill. And over towards the mid lane. Mickey, he's ready to go. Wukong's demanding the balance strike. The avalanche follow-up as well. Liquid are destroying PSG LGD in this early game. As PSG LGD, they're just looking completely lost. They're trying to make moves. And they just end up sort of handing themselves a silver platter here to Liquid.
Oh, baby, I think I might need a... I don't know if you saw that down bottom, but the bear was feared. And then I think he leveled up the bear to remove the fear, so he gets the bear on top of the Drow to get the fear off. Or the bear was silenced, sorry. And then he resummons the bear. Doesn't resummon, but he levels up the bear to remove it. That was a really cool interaction, I believe I saw from Koikla.
Yeah, we might have the replay of that. I think you could be exactly right.
That looked really interesting.
I mean, that makes it, yeah, when you level the bear, it does refresh it, doesn't it? In that sense,
That was really cool plays from Liquid. Outplaying, making moves across the map, 2K advantage, slowing down this PSG LGD minus armor draft, and getting on top of these heroes. Mickey with some nice moves.
Yeah, he's having a great time. 4-0-2. Echo looking into the Maelstrom next. Yep. I mean, with these sort of setups, if he's ever in the trees, gets the Wukongs into the Boundless, these heroes will die in that combo, even to sort of him alone, some of these. Yep. This Monkey King, very, very scary.
Gets right on top of him. That's why they went for that pick. Not only high armor hero, but a hero that gets right into the fray on top of a Drow Ranger. Bear continuously to checking this Roshan. The Deso is done. Max Meld, Deso, Corrosive Haze. They'll kill it in no time. Little Shredder and Medallion too. This is going to die so fast. I don't think they're going to react in time.
Yeah.
Instead, too quick.
It's going to be so insanely quick.
They're trying. They're scouting.
And they've got to make moves very quickly. Nothing to say. Just really trying to finish you up. But Quaver's actually able to get the Baron in time. The Fear pushes the TA out of the pit. Look at the torch touching him. Nothing to say. He's been surrounded. There's nothing to say. He'll try and tell them up, but he's still dead. They'll lose the TA. The jump is there over towards Mickey. It's PSG LGD. They have lost nothing to say, but they do take down enough to finish it. Get that Aegis themselves. As Arme, a bit of hesitation there, but will still pick it up. Hopes that for himself, and now he's trying to see if he can get his hands on some kills. As they'll look towards Tiger. Tossing Fabian up to the high ground, but Fabian's still able to make his way back over towards the Tiny. The bash comes back up as Tiger goes down. PSG LGD finally able to get an objective going their way.
And my lord, the toss back from the Tiny on the TA onto the Pugna gets two-shotted. Even with a Ghost Scepter, can't even react in time to get it off. So still get the main objective on PSG LGD. Close though. Liquid almost was able to put up a fighter to get into the pit. That was a bit scary.
See, Liquid. I mean, Samael's already trying to get the setup for some action.
Spotted
up in, nothing to say. Liquid's still very much wanting to fight, despite the Aegis being on Arme.
They've got the blink dagger on Taiga. They have to set the pace of this game. If it starts getting too slow, I don't think they have a chance in the later stages, so they have to play very aggressive. Even if they're into this Aegis, just have to catch PSG LGD off guard. Just toss back into this high damage lineup that they do still have on Liquid.
Dire's top tower has some radiant-shaped problems.
It's just hard to get in. It sort of traps down, and His moves being spotted. Liquid, they'll resort to moving down towards the bottom, try for the tier 2 instead. Making a jump on these heroes of PSG LGD proving to be rather difficult. A few times we have seen Liquid get the kills have been when PSG LGD has walked into them.
Got a nether shot on the Pugna, so more damage, more magical, but very squishy.
They're going to land a perfect combo here with the Ice Blast. Have they got enough to push him underneath the threshold? The Wukong's command is out. They're trying to get him onto the side somehow. Trying to come over the drain, but Fabian's on top of him. Nothing to say. Will still die to the damage from the Wukong's command. They get the stop off though over to the side. The kiss is coming through onto Insania and Quaitha popping the ult here. He's ready to get back in with the Bears. They'll head straight over to Innocence. Mickey jumps in with a Primal Spring.
Not bad, not bad. They got TA.
Dire's top tower has some radiant-shaped problems.
That's the Deso done on Quaitha. Just that Maelstrom Mickey going for the BKB. How's Arme's progress looking? Manta money pretty much there, unless he wants to just pick up the BKB over the Asher. We'll see. He feels pressure to do so. Bottom lane, Mickey scouting things out of the trees, but as soon as TP starts coming, Liquid, they back off. They don't want to try and fight that close to the tower whilst the Aegis is still in the hands of Arme.
Nice fortunate neutral pickup for the side of Liquid too. The Dragon Scale, any type of armor items feel super effective this game. Bear will be a little extra protected, 17 armor on it now. Playing around this vision.
Go Tiger.
Gets another one.
With the touch back, Innocence. He's gone. Try and check Fabian. He wanted to go for this. He has got Arme and Xingqiu at the side. And the strike comes out. They push back the two of them with the gust, but already the Bears in on top of the Drow. The fear comes into play. Tiger in with the avalanche. They get the toss back as well. They've caught Arme. Arme separated from the rest of the lineup, so they bring him down the ones. All the time when they do this, the Bear just gets destroyed. They lose the two of them. As that's both of them gone. The Bear's trying to go for a second round onto Xingqiu, but the Bear doesn't stand a chance. The physical damage is too high. As Liquid, they'll buy back on both of them, trying to turn this around, trying to save Mickey, but PSG LGD's in on top of him again. The physical damage is a few hits, and Mickey's gone. As they just tear them all down there. You see, hero after hero, Tiger and Insania not standing a chance against the TA. Then the Bear's gone, and next thing you know, Mickey, he's got nothing to stand his ground against this hard hit of PSG LGD. This is what you expect to see from this lineup of the heroes. These heroes, they will just decimate you.
Yeah, Tiger's buyback does come into play, does become effective. We'll be able to find the Drow Ranger afterwards. But yeah, you're really starting to see that insane physical damage. The Bear gets two-shotted. The AA and the tiny lineup for the side blades get two-shotted as well. They have to be very wary of their positioning.
So that was a scary fight indeed for Liquid. I mean, well, how do you deal with this? How do you itemize against this? As you say, armor, ghost scepters. I mean, you've got to get everything to stop yourself from just getting hit. Yeah.
Insania's got himself a 4-staff. Decent way to at least get him in and out of the fight. Tiny's got that Ghost Scepter queued up. Still setting up, still playing around their vision, still playing aggressive, still liking the way that Liquid is making these moves. 2k gold advantage for PSG LGD, but Liquid doesn't care. They're still looking to play at the strength that they have right now. Taking out the towers quickly.
Full BKB on nothing to say, so he's very ready to head into the front of these fights.
That's going to make it a lot harder for them to focus fire him for any of those tossbacks. He's probably going to just turn and two-shot some heroes and then maybe even just TP out in front of them. So Liquid has to be very precise with the hero that they do initiate on, as it is also a BKB on the Drow Ranger. So these tossback plays are going to be a lot more difficult for Liquid to set up.
Unlikely that they'll have quite enough control to really get the jumps done on these heroes to stop them from getting the BKBs off at all. Always likely that both Nothing to Say and Arme will be able to pop them in the chaos of the team fight.
They're smoking now. PSG LGD have their Solar Crest, so even stronger physical damage. They have the level 13 on Fabian, so level 2 Corrosive Haze online. Insania, he's spotted. He's going to get shredded. Oh, does get decrept. Nice play by Sumail.
Tiger. The counter play, but the BKB's out from Arme. Fabian, he'll head back for now with the 4-star. Varme will focus down Tiger. Tiger's gone. Innocent's able to chase down Insania. Liquid, they're down to just the 3 of them here. No further fight to be had from Liquid. They've got to step back.
Stop.
And they might not get the chance to do so. The stop. It's caught him. Again, Crepify comes out trying to save the bear, but they just jump straight over to the hero himself. As Lone Druid will fall. They just, they can't fight this.
They can't fight
What do
this
they
now.
do then? Yeah, their lineup has just fully come online. Nothing to say. Ready to lead the charge here. 13k net worth from me. Arme is well close behind him. And how on earth do you fight this? It seems that PSG are they're just going to shred you. It's to the point where you have to avoid these engagements. But you do that, I mean, they'll just turn their attention towards the towers. They're going to be running down lanes. This is looking a very tough fight for Liquid to have.
Just a very difficult game with the draft that's been set up. They did well in this early game, got in these 14 kills, but now we're seeing the full online of PSG LGD, even looking like perhaps going for a secondary Midas armor, going for a medallion also on Innocence on top of the solar crest from the Snapfire. It's just increasing more and more. Xingqiu, okay, might be able to find him here. Cookie.
Oh.
Making him work for it.
Certainly. I mean, he really is, and backup's coming in. They're going to have to stop. Ooh, stop actually didn't quite catch Mickey.
Mickey,
Now backup's in. Fabian, he jumps in straight around, and Mickey needs help, and he needs it now. Be able to drop the Wukong's command. Fabian up to the side. And head in with the multi-shot, Mickey. It's not going to catch anyone else in the ultimate as PSG HD are able to step away. And instantly, as that's happening, Liquid, they've headed over here with no intention to actually try and fight PSG LGD, just coming over to keep Mickey safe.
Can't believe Xingqiu. Cookie getting him out of that AA blast will be enough. Does have the backup. If he gets hit by the stomp there on Mickey, probably dead too. Innocent slightly off the mark, but they're smoking, still looking for more. All these traps everywhere. So they're seeing Liquid. Insania?
It's just so scary. Whoever they get the jump on is just dead in an instant.
It's so difficult for them to play now at this point. It's like Sumail has to be the one to do all the saves on these squishy supports, but then he just puts himself out of position. The item timings, it's not. I'm not really seeing what they get next on Liquid to just feel like they're going to be able to fight back. I see they've got this AC queued up. They've got Mickey close to BKB, but that's still not going to solve how much physical damage is really coming out. And the team fight, it's problematic too, because they may have AA, they may have the Monkey King ult, but that's just about it when it comes to the straight team fights. While PSG LGD have a much easier approach. Multiple forms of stuns, multiple forms of initiation. Even they're trying to do anything here, Liquid grouping up, perhaps looking for some type of smoke to catch PSG LGD off guard. They can get the wraparound from behind. Freshly delivered from BKB from Mickey, also level 18, so level 3 Wukongs. I'm gonna try for it here. See the courier. Gonna see Innocence perhaps for a second, but they want a bigger one. Gonna settle for it. He does get the 4-staff.
But over to the side, Innocence. He's able to hide himself here with a glimmer. Silence comes out to Mickey and Quoifer. Nothing to say, looking for the perfect angle to get him. Fabian comes in with the jump. The kiss is coming out as well from the side. Quoifer popping the ult. He's trying to get away from this. Mickey will be able to run down Fabian. They'll kill off the Slaughter. Tiger coming back in with the toss. They've got the Ice Blast flying through as well. But the BKB's popped for nothing to say. Mickey stands his ground with the Wukong's command. But PSG LGD, they're able to step out to the side. Wukong's command also getting stepped out upon by Mickey. So the ult comes to an end. Liquid, they try to run, but Fabian, he's back in. Jumps in with the crush onto Mickey. Mickey trying to turn, but the hits are coming in from Arme. Another protection play with the Decrepify will allow Mickey to jump back to the high ground safely.
Great decreps from Sumail. The last one, the Lone Druid, he ends up surviving at the end of it, then they kill his bear, and the damage from the bear dying ends up killing him, even though Sumail does get some clutch decrep saves. Those Force of Faith beyond buyback. Roche soon to be respawning 1 second.
I've got to play these fights perfectly, Liquid.
They do.
Yes, so Sumail's positioning. Really everything here.
Those are really nice saves, though.
Not even with those sort of moves, nothing to say, just getting so far ahead of the competition.
Yes.
16k net worth, nullifier done.
Oh,
so now those Decrepifiers aren't going to do quite as much.
No, they're not. And he also has the Meld Dispel, so if it's an aggressive decrep, he's also going to just be able to dispel it off.
No, he's going to have no trouble getting the kills here now.
No, he's not. Looking more and more difficult for Liquid. Just feels like they have to outplay in every single one of these team fights. Faith Beyond, though, having no buyback, this could be a moment of opportunity if they do find him. But it's at PSG LGD, the one leading the charge. Sania spotted.
Opening at the jump. Tiger comes with a counter play, but Faith Beyond forced out and jumps out to the side with the help of the Cookie. Now turn to Tiger. The Tonka tries to get it, and Stomp is caught the turn, and the kisses coming down on both. Insania tries to get out, but the magical damage is too much. That's the AA gone. Buyback from Tiger. There's Mickey. He's on the run. Trap slow. Will catch him. PSG LGD got anything more to get on top of the Monkey King? They don't. Mickey's out into the trees. He's away. They step back here, Liquid. Roche is up. PSG LGD ready to move straight into the pit. Can Liquid do anything? They don't have Insania. They don't have that Ice Blast. Look at how quickly it goes down.
Seconds.
Yeah.
And now they have the shard on that TA, so the silences will be applying to the poor Pugna as well. So they're gonna have a much harder time. Another trap. Next,
Okay.
Wukong
In the trees, but Alan Strike is gonna miss. He's not gonna catch anyone here in the ultimate. PSG LGD will happily stand out to the side.
Tower is under attack.
Huge lead now for PSG LGD, just 12k advantage. Their draft playing itself perfectly here, and very little it seems that Liquid can do to just save one another. Now PSG LGD, you know, one foot put in the wrong place here from Liquid, and you're just instantly dead in these team fights.
Absolutely. And this chart now, the traps, more traps, as we know, it's 4 more traps you get more vision from the traps, and they silence. So the poor Pugna, Sumail, who's had these great jobs of decrepifying his teammates, it's just going to be even harder for him.
Scan from range.
Absolutely.
So many different ways.
No self-dispel at the moment on him.
Nope. Haifa forming a very aggressive position here. Mickey.
He
gotta be
won't
careful.
show himself here.
No.
Ooh, okay. Just clearing the way for the trees. Tiger and Senia are here to back him up.
They saw him for a second there. They have that ward on the high ground. They're chasing. They want blood.
Tiger's out.
Sania, he's not going to be so lucky.
No, looking pretty dead here.
Let's see how many hits.
Couple of hits.
2.
That'll do it. That'll do it. It's getting close to the one-hit territory.
If it was a melted, I think it was a 1 hit.
Radiant's getting friendly with Dire's bottom tower.
Look how hard the TA hits with that marksmanship aura as well on top. 300 without even refraction. Mickey gets hit by the stomp.
Oh, they found him.
He's spotted.
They found him. He's got no TP. He can PKB, but he's got no way out of this. He can only sort of just stand his ground and hope for the best. The kisses are coming in to clear him out. As Mickey, he's trying to run. He's trying to get his way out of this, but there's no escape for the Monkey King. As they find him, they take him down. Another kill for PSG LGD. Osama keeps the pressure on the bottom lane. They're on the verge of taking the third and final tier 2 here away from Liquid as well.
The game just feels so impossible. They just have to run away from all the fights. The only hope they have is for tossbacks under tier 4s, or maybe even into Fountain, it feels like.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
What can Liquid do? They've got a buyback on Mickey available. AC is done on Quaitfa, so something. Not a lot, but something to help against all this physical damage. Tiger, a few hits and he's gone. We'll be able to turn and take down Nothing to Say the once, but now the bear getting the full brunt of the attack here from PSG LGD. Can stay ready for round 2, and Tiger, he does not have buyback himself. Buyback comes out from Mickey, but it's going to be a 4 versus 5 hold here that they'll have to put together.
That kills his entire growth in the game. Not even able to get any kills out of it. They do have Wukong's up in 5 seconds. I think Liquid's starting to feel that this might be their last fight in the game.
See what they've got in them.
Top tower.
There's PSG LGD. Down to the routes, quite for sending the bear in. Ice blast. We'll catch upon the 2 of them. Nothing to say, still with the BKB ready to pop. Active protection momentarily kicks in, but the creeps continue to flow forward. Get removed as quickly as it pops up, as that's the bottom melee rack's gone. Liquid not able to do anything to stop PSG LGD in their tracks.
Even with the buyback of the Monkey King, they can't look to take a fight. Just doesn't really do much of anything that hurts. Mickey's growth, he was getting semi-close to the Scotty. Now it's miles away.
They're gonna try with the smoke. They've got to go for risky moves like this, Liquid, as we're seeing sitting in the base, waiting for the high ground defense. That's not really something they're going to find themselves in an advantageous position, even fighting from the high ground of the base. They just don't really have the lineup to do it. They've got to take fights outside where they can attempt to outnumber and catch PSG LGD by surprise.
They know this is coming, though. They saw them. Maybe
job
to
say. We'll get feared if they got further lockdown. He's out of the Wukongs. He's fine. He's away. Koifa's Bear now starting to take the damage here as PSG LGD look to run it out. Faith behind. He's ready to jump into the front lines. Gets himself straight on top of Samael. Tiger trying to toss Samael back to safety. It will work. They'll get Samael out of there. But Mickey, he's surrounded. And he's down and out for 100. No buyback, of course, available on him as it's still on cooldown. This could be the ticket that PSG LGD need to run it down mid and get themselves this victory secured.
It really does feel absolutely impossible for Liquid to do anything versus this draft. It's just far too strong. I mean, I was impressed with them when they got those 14 kills lead, but they've only gotten one in, what, 10 minutes or so, it feels? It's just been PSG LGD running the game.
Yeah, it really has. Straight for the high ground again. And no Monkey King. They couldn't do this with the Monkey King. They do get a good toss back onto Nothing to Say, but the BKB's out in time, and they have no follow-up. Nothing to Say, able to easily walk it off. Tiger's got he's behind, just diving in underneath the tier 4s, in for the two-man crush. Innocent's just coming in, punching them in the face here. Quite for getting shot down by Arme. 4 dead. There's it so. But GG is called as PSG LGD. My goodness, they tear them apart completely in this game 1. Which really, I mean, this has to be a draft where I don't think PSG LGD would change anything about it, right? This is the perfect.
Enigma, I mean, it's not that much of a net worth lead, but it feels like they're in pretty decent control right now.
That kill is it's really impressive that he finds it, considering the vision is Radiant down there, right? Like, they don't have a vision themselves to find it, so it's flat out just a map read that he thinks Leshrac is occupying that area, and that he's alone, and that he can solo him before rotations would come in. I don't even know if the Sunstrike connected. It did. It did almost no damage. His level 1 exort.
It's something. He just wanted a little assist there, but there's, see the glimpse again, Static Storm, Margol to fall, and my God, they can just kill him without even having to commit their bodies at all. And that is the position 1 Magnus, keep in mind. GH dodges the swashbuckle. Tim's able to get the kill regardless, though. And again, these 1-for-1 trades, Nigma are getting the core heroes, typically, and they're just giving up a support.
They're still not building too much of a sizable lead, right? Because even though they're getting these good trades, they're not really farming very much on their heroes, except Ursa, so...
You could see this pretty much solo. Let's see if the Sunstrike does connect or not. He's in Shadow. Never mind. Okay. No assist for Miracle. GH taking it for himself. I mean, this is a hero that, if he gets even decent farm, scales really well. You can see another glimpse. They're just going to work. Kuroki's setting up so much with this glimpse.
Disruptor is one of the most satisfying supports to play in the game when you're ahead. When you're the one invading.
What about the opposites in there? Is it the...
It's pretty sad to play when you're behind a lot of the time.
I mean,
it's very polarizing.
Do you
hero.
feel like that is true for every hero in the game?
There are some heroes that are very good at playing defensively, like Trant.
Yep.
I would say Disruptor is not that good at playing defensively because it makes one of his skills almost useless.
That's true. We do see the Blink Dagger now, so Magnus, I assume TNC will try to get a little bit more active. I mean, the real issue is that Armel has nothing right now. This is a hero that you absolutely have to get some farm on so he can kind of snowball. I mean, he still has potential to do that. Although Mirror, again, so active here. And is right now. Just out of range so they can't actually feel the cold the cold weather, as it were, Cinderin.
He's queued up a Midas after his Vessel, so he has a plan for how to get rich later.
Again, the vision from Miracle sets this up to start with Spirit Vessel applied. Up the RP, Gabby finds Miracle. This will be a pretty big kill. Looks like they're going to get it. Boomy has come to play as well. The Glimpse not really going to have much of an effect, and now the Static Storm has to be used. Kuroki to try to get defensively, but it's not going to be successful. So a 2-for-0, despite having the vision advantage there. Nigma coming out on the losing end of this fight. That's a double kill. Gabby, as mind control ends up dropping.
I'd love if we could see a replay of that. So basically what happens is that they drop their spells, but Miracle doesn't want to commit on the kill on Lesh because he's scared of getting RP'd. So he's like dancing around the perimeter for 5 seconds, and then he gets RP'd anyway.
Right.
So really good job from Gabby to find that opening eventually and just being patient, like not rushing it. He realizes what's going on. The Invoker is not committing, not doing very much damage by just placing a Vessel in a snap. There's no attacks coming out. And then he finds the moment of opportunity. Like, who knows? Maybe if Miracle committed, they would have got the kill in time. I don't know if the Magnus Dagger was on cooldown, but yeah, Gabby was ready.
ILTW now has the Diffusal working towards a BKB. We might be seeing a double Blink Dagger here pretty soon for TNC, both Tims and Gabby. Tims very close. So they're going to have a lot of lockdown, a lot of disruption for these fights without needing, you know, Pango's a great hero. You don't need a BKB. You can still just walk through pretty much everything, or roll through everything, I should say. And pretty good game for, actually, I don't know. Do you know the shard for Pango, the roll up, does that work if you're rooted? I guess probably not, huh? I would guess no.
Actually not sure.
Tim's getting right click down, enraged, nice timing, so kind of expecting that split earth, and he's able to find the kill as a result.
Oh, one of the
scouted. Yep, the Sunstrike, mind control.
They're just really trying to find the vision here for Kuro.
Kuroki. It is night vision. No.
If he had an Ops, there's a kill there. But he was not in range when they got the vision from the Sunstrike, and good pathing choices there from Lesh to get out. Chose a really smart path. He ran straight down.
Yep, that's usually the good path.
It was indeed.
In my experience, at least.
How you dodge every arrow.
That's right. It's running a straight line. Nobody expects it. All right, I mean, the game, net worth-wise, again, quite even. The Magnus farming better than anybody on the map, which, again, really...
Very surprising.
It's unsurprising, but at the same time, I'm not sure what to expect from position 1 Magnus, because if it's mid, it's a little bit different, right? I mean, if you're building the same way, you're still relying on somebody else to right-click at some point, but...
I think arguably he's less ahead than could be expected, just because the carry he's playing against is an Ursa going Diffusal, right?
True.
So considering you have Empowered the whole game, a 700 gold lead is not that much, but... As is always the case with carry Magnus, it's about hitting that big
mind
combo.
Control.
Oh, nice Yule, yeah.
Dodging the spear, but there's a Static Storm combo to find him. And yeah, it doesn't really matter. With the Viper Strike to try to counteract the... No Aegis or anything. Yeah, the bear looks quite dead. So the position 2 for position 1. And I think TNC will definitely take that.
Yeah, I mean, their Leshrac has been dying for literally everyone in this game so far, so dying for an Ursa is probably an upgrade, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That's not bad.
Yeah, let's go back to this Midas choice from here. Oh, he's going to be found with his RP.
He missed the
sentry was there to show him.
Done target.
Yeah, but there's still quite a few heroes here to help out. There's a lot of damage being applied now with the Sunstrike coming through. Again, not that much. And the Fear of the Terrorize, the Glimpse back. They're just repositioning these heroes left, right, and center. Gabby just outside the kinetic field, just skewering to safety. So despite all the spells used, nobody has died yet. The spear back onto Tims. Looks like mind control might be the sacrifice.
Good brambles, though.
No, in the meantime, Armel finds a little goodie in the form of GH, and mind control will be next. So much needed for Armel to at least be in XP range, because he's kind of struggle city right now.
I think it's very understandable that Nigma see this as a good opportunity. That RP within the stun duration, they did like quarter of Invoker's health and damage. So that definitely looked like a play that could turn around, but just the raw health, right? This TNC lineup, pretty tanky. Magnus has a lot of base stat gain. I don't remember what his strength gain is. It's like 4 or something. It's exceptionally high. Look at that 2,700 health with just these items.
Yep, he's a big boy.
So even though they landed a lot of spells on Gabby and cast like 2 vessels or even 3 charges on him, he still didn't die. He's obviously gone for that 12 strength talent that helps out a bit extra as well.
I'm
Very
surprised
tanky.
so many people take that 12 strength over the cooldown reduction. The skewer is crazy. Feels like it's up all the time. But probably for a different type of build here.
Glim.
Oh boy. Yeah, spear, static storm. They're using everything to kill this Lesh, who's, you know, not doing super great this game, but at the same time, it's still a hero you have to respect.
And in all fairness, he had been alive for like a minute, so it was time again.
Yeah, the cooldown has come for your life.
They are definitely targeting Armel this game.
I mean, this could set up the Roche. I mean, that's 40 seconds, no Lesh, right? Yeah, they're going to do just that. Shard available.
It is a pretty wise choice as well, right? You look at the other options. One of them is an Enchantress, which doesn't feel very rewarding, and she might have buyback. Then there's a Pango, who could counterplay your Glimpse by just using ult. Viper is very tanky, Magnus is very tanky. So Lesh is like the highest, he's like has the highest damage per HP, so to say.
Yeah.
So it's an easy kill, but also a high damage output. You love killing those heroes off first.
All right. Is he not taking the Shard?
He has it in his bag for now.
It is.
He's going to give it to Willow, I think.
Yeah, he could. No, he's going to take it for himself, it looks like. Yeah, Willow's is quite good. That's the Cursed Crown.
Did Willow,
does a bunch of things.
Willow might just buy it herself.
Yeah, I think it's something you buy anyway, so...
She might have it already, actually. Is that his courier coming out there? It might be GH's courier flying out.
Nope.
Dagger.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I was thinking, oh, that's nice. He has pretty good gold. So, of course, he has an item that costs another 7. Yep. All right.
Yeah, so Ursa Shard gives it's a lower cooldown on Earth Shock and also applies the Enrage buff for a second and a half every time you use Earth Shock. Again, I know it sounds like a broken record for people that have genuinely think this is the top 5 shard in the entire game. It is mega powerful. Pretty much not situational at all. It's always good. All right, Force Staff, dodging that Sun Strike. We have a GH. Was getting chased for the time being, but this Cold Snap is quite annoying to deal with for Gabby, who I think he does have his BKB now. Yeah, it's at the full 9 seconds. So actually going for AC. So not going pure right click, but a little more tankiness. I mean, you talked about how high his HP is, and obviously armor is good to accompany that with overall.
It's also a very standard item for Mag to buy just because his attack speed is not very great, but his base damage with Empower is very high. So you see he's hitting for like 350. So even if you get a crit, the amount of attacks you get off during the RP is pretty limited. But with an AC, you obviously got off way more attacks. It's something that benefits your team. You'll still get your Daedalus this next item after this, probably, if he gets there.
What do you think of Bloodthorn instead of Daedalus?
It's okay if the matchup is right, but you have to consider, like, yeah, you're helping out your teammates, but it's also dispellable, right? If the enemy team has anything that counters it, then I'd say usually Daedalus, for the most part, is the better choice. If you have a really good reason to buy the Bloodthorn, then it can definitely be a thing. Obviously, the build of the Bloodthorn is different now, so it doesn't work the same way the old Bloodthorn does, or did. It doesn't have the Chrysalis component anymore.
True. All right, 2.5 minutes left on the Aegis for ILTW as Armel hasn't died in a while. I think it's almost time, Synderen. But
yep.
He's accompanied by his team this time, so this is what I like. I like that they're kind of baiting him because they know he just looks like such a juicy target for Team Nigma, who are now 3K ahead. Oh, wow, they have a shard on Destroy. Are you kidding me? So this is Thunderstrike can be cast on allies, and it gives a little bit of a boost of movement speed and attack speed for a brief moment. And increases the radius of the effect of Thunderstrike. That is really cool. I don't know if I've ever seen that in a game. Have you?
Yeah, I have. How
is it?
It's not that common, though. Like, Tezzeret will usually buy a utility item in X, right? But yeah. I think it's very good on Ursa. So you want to give this to a melee carry that just wants to keep running people down. Giving him just a little bit more attack speed and the movement speed really helps him stick onto targets in the fights. So I like it here. I don't really think it has much use apart from that, though. You put it on Ursa, and that's pretty much it. There's no, like, secondary great target. Like, it's not very good on Invoker. He's not Exhort build, right?
Yeah.
So for now, you're going to see this popping up on the Ursa for the most part.
That's very excited to see it. Thunderstrike buff for teammates. As we do see the shard also on Pango. So he has the roll-up ability, which gives him magic immunity, and he can, with his ult, to turn around and do some fancy stuff. As Tim's is on the cliff, so he's going to be spotting this and blinks out just as the sentry plays and uses his ult immediately. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get glimpsed, that's for sure.
Right. I mean, he could have tried to swashbuckle first, and then if the glimpse starts going off, he can roll. You do have enough time if it's a max distance glimpse.
I mean, you can just use your shard ability. You don't need to actually use your ult, technically, to get to dodge the disruptor glimpse, right? I mean, I know that.
Yeah, that should. You're right. That should be fine.
I mean, I'm a Pango master, Cinder. Come on.
Yep, me too.
Although I never buy these utility items that I see these pleb pro players.
We buy Maelstrom MKB.
Yep, I have actually upgraded my build. I used to go diffuse and stuff like that, but that's just
not enough damage.
It's not enough. It's overrated. You know. All right. Well, the Aegis is gonna expire, so Nigma pretty much used it to farm. They didn't get any towers, I don't think, during this time frame. But obviously the shard is, you know, that's 1,400 gold for free. And they still have the cheese, which does not expire, despite being a cheese, which lore-wise doesn't make any sense to me. I think over time it should turn into blue cheese and it becomes more powerful, so they'll ferment over time, you know? And eventually it just becomes like a fungus or a mushroom or something, you know? Anyway, as Cinderin continues to ignore me, we have a fine network lead for
I'm
Enigma.
thinking about your suggestion critically.
And?
It's very good.
Thames? He does fine. Okay, there's the roll-up being used to... GH? All right. Who's that TPing? Did he just cancel? Oh, okay, he just TP'd out. Just causing chaos, as is Pangolier's job, essentially. Ursa going for the Tome of Knowledge, which makes every support very sad. Just really wants that level 20 talent, I guess.
He might get level 20 before minute 30 anyway, to be honest.
Yeah.
If they get any fight, he should get there.
Yeah, for sure.
Currently, Mag has been hitting his, so he gets the 425 skewer range. So he did take the strength talent instead of the cooldown one, but then he took the skewer range. The skewer range talent is, I think, better than the cooldown one. The reason is usually Magnus fights, the way they go down is you have one key initiate, right? And you want that to have the highest impact possible. So let's say you catch Invoker or Ursa, skewering them that extra 400 range makes a really big difference for the team's ability to connect and help. Whereas the 7-second cooldown reduction is more dependent on being able to reset out. The 12 is such a feel-good talent because it affects everything you do for the rest of the game. Farming speed, tankiness, damage. So, but I will agree though. I think the skewer talent is also good.
Yeah. That's pretty cool to see. Oh, he might be wrapped around here. Kuroki, oh, blinks out, skewers out. You just need a little bit of vision for Kuroki. And Gabby is going to be found with that spear. Here comes the Cataclysm, the Mars ult, everything being used to take out the position 1 Magnus. Gabby dead for 70 seconds. And with that, maybe a tower for Nigma. Roshan, we won't know the timer on him for another minute.
And this is what Miracle accomplished with the Midas pickup after the Vessel, is that he manages to transition from Quadswex into Exhort later in the game. If he hadn't gone the Midas, he probably wouldn't have had maxed out Exhort there, and probably wouldn't have had, well, he would have had the Axe if he didn't go Midas, right?
GH, Cursed Crown, BKB has to be forced out from Bach. LTW, he really wants to fight Tims. He has that shard, so every time you attack him, he kind of gets pushed back. He's going to use his ult in the meantime. Again, trying to be chaotic here, but won't be committing to anything. And LTW, I mean, just 20 seconds left on the ult, so not much was expended in the end.
Oh, Armel is low on mana. Can't TP yet. Now he can.
This is the longest streak he's been alive so far, and he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
GH does have enough for shard, but also has an Aeon disc queued up, so okay, just bought the shard.
I just asked production. It was Armel's brother playing the first 20 minutes.
Oh.
He's back.
All right, thank you, production. Appreciate that insight. So the shard for Dark Willow applied to Cursed Crown, like we talked about. A little bramble comes about. It stuns faster. It's like a second earlier for the Cursed Crown to go off. Pretty freaking good.
To me, this is one of the best shards in the game.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really powerful.
Very good. I mean, I wouldn't put on Ursa level, not quite. It's up there, maybe top 10. So.
I don't know. It's debatable. One of the things that even makes it so crazy is that the Cursed Crown even goes off if it gets dispelled.
Yeah.
Like that is, it's so good that you still get those brambles out on use. So usually what a lot of players would do in the past against Dark Willow in the mid-late game is that they would buy any sort of dispel, like Lotus Orb against the stun, Manta, whatever. But if you have that, shard, you can only really remove it with BKB. Does it go off even then? It probably does, but then you can just walk over the brambles.
Yes.
But the brambles should still get placed even if you BKB.
Yeah. Yep, that's exactly. So what you need to do is Yule's it off, then the brambles get created, and then Lotus it off. So you get 2 items to counter the shard. Right. It's only like a 6K.
Yeah, because the brambles get placed so close as well that you can't even dodge them when you come down from the Yules.
That's.
You can't even get out.
I mean, it is a maze after all.
Yeah. That's how mazes work. You can't go anywhere, and there's no escape.
That's right. Okay, Roche is up, and it is a refresher shard.
I hope you never go into a maze.
I'm too
Well,
scared.
if you go into an actual maze, you'll just give up and never find the end because you think every maze has no exits.
After Harry Potter, I'm never going to go in a maze again, Synderen. I know you don't understand that reference because you don't watch any movies, which is really weird. It makes you a robot. But ILTW has the double damage and working towards a satanic, it looks like. So
I have watched all Harry Potter movies, Jim.
I don't believe you.
I have.
All right, name one character.
Cedric Diggory.
Wow.
There you go.
That is the maze one, too. All right, we got a Smoke of Deceit on TNC. They're down 6K, but they have very good team fight with the... As long as the RP hits, they have good team fight. See if they can catch somebody off guard. But, I mean, Nigma are kind of positioned in a decent spot for this, although now that Mind Control is heading towards that top area of his jungle.
Oh, this could be a good skewer.
Yeah, we'll see. Mind Control, and he's thinking that they might be in a road. He's already used his Blink Dagger, and there's the RP just on one.
Oh, he's
So take it.
He doesn't have buyback. That's
Yeah.
pretty big.
They don't know this, of course, but this could potentially free up Roche for them.
Their lineup's not particularly good at killing it,
It's
though.
very bad, in fact. But Hims gets the Rolling Thunder up. They want to focus on Kuroki. They're going to get him pretty easily. So 2 kills right off the bat for TNC. And I believe that GH is going to be next. That's a triple kill for Armel, who's come back with a vengeance. Might have a buyback. That's going to be on Kuroki. ILTW has to use that BKB charge.
It's crazy how much better you can be at the game than your brother, right? Like,
Pretty good. No, it's the same blood. Doesn't make any sense. Oh, Glimpse back. And they burst him down. The Static Storm, Kinetic Field combo again. And yes, the Tango is done, though. Tier 1 tower's about to fall as well. ILTW, I believe he popped the cheese. Trying to go ham on the Gabby. Oh, into the Cataclysm. It's going to clip Gabby, but it's not enough for the kill. Spear Vessel applied as well, but now Nigma on the run. I mean, they are completely outnumbered. We see a Marzal being used to take out Magnus. Will be successful in doing so. Buyback now in Versa. This is a huge buyback. If TNC can get out, this is a dead even game in terms of net worth. Forstep not quite going to get Armel to the high ground. Boomy might be the sacrifice. And again, I think TNC will be very happy with that, but maybe the Viper instead. So, Boomy, let's get taken out. And yeah, they're going to get at least 2 kills here for Nigma.
Straight to Roche.
Yeah, and the Roshan is the reason for this buyback.
that was still... Honestly, TNC did a really good job against the Cataclysm. I thought that was going to look way scarier. I think they barely even got scratched by it. Maybe one of the Sunstrikes hit the Magnus. I think everyone else dodged it, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, really great job from them. They're on the enemy side of the map, and they're getting beaten by buybacks. And Nigma obviously know that this is a worthwhile trade because the Roshan is up.
Tim's, if he was just there a couple seconds early, could have had some crazy moves, but it was not to be.
So was this one Refresher Shard? Or
Yes.
It was Shard. So they're going to give that to Invoker, you'd imagine.
Oh yeah, double Cataclysm.
Double Cataclysm in the arena.
Yeah.
Could even pull it off together with some sort of Curse Crown combo.
Yeah, very true. I mean, obviously, it's
really scary.
I mean,
All right, Tango's going to go in.
okay.
Dagger.
Rolling Thunder into the roll up, into the split. This is a lot of lockdown. Miracle pops a BKB, and he's actually just going to get out with a sliver of HP.
Close call. That was a great attempt. I don't think they could have cast their spells any better either.
Yeah.
They literally landed everything, maximized the stun layering to not risk BKB popping off before Split Earth. He pre-popped Edicts. They could, yeah, there was nothing they could have done better. Except maybe having a Dust. I don't know if they did. I think they did and got away anyway. It's just so fast and Ghost Walked.
Fortifications were traded here, so that keeps a pretty healthy wave alive in the top lane for Team Nigma. But it looks like they're going to reset as the tornado clips onto this very powerful Centaur creep, who will be destroyed.
All right, they sent a message there.
Yeah, they really did.
That was a lot of heroes to kill a neutral.
Mind Control working towards a Desolator. We keep saying this, but it's never actually purchased on Mars, it feels like.
So Nigma with the read that there's unlikely to be any wards here from TNC based on the very aggressive wards they have themselves. So they're going to do a smoke. Enchantress kind of baiting herself up. I think TNC has a pretty good idea what's going on right now based on their map position. They're all hidden in base. Enchantress is kind of peeking out. Oh, that is...
Yeah, Mind Control shows himself. Doesn't look like they want to initiate on him, though. They did that before.
Really?
Tried to get out of the kinetic field, but it's not to be. ILTW just rips him apart.
I think think if Gabby was fast there, he could have actually caught mind control. He ran under the tower for like 2 seconds
Yeah,
before he
he
blinked.
blinked.
There was a blink skewer there. And in the end, Kuro ends up just... I don't...
Is there a possibility where they just absolutely do not want to go on the Mars because they know that there's a refresher shard on Invoker?
I don't think so. I think he dies in the blink of
immediately.
If they blink skewer and chain it with a relay track stun, he doesn't get any spells on.
All right, another great game between these two teams. They seem relatively evenly matched based on, you know, small sample size. These RP onto Miracle. This should be enough damage with the Split Earth and the Pulse Nova applied. And that is a dead Miracle for 80 seconds. Gabby's in fact going to pop the BKB skewer away. Armel, I mean, he's pretty freaking fast, so I think he's going to be A-okay.
They might not be done here yet. They have the possibility of turning around on the ward they have on the left. If Enigma go off the wrong way...
Tim sees him, blinks to safety now.
They're full on disengaging. If Nigma would have gone into that Radiant ward in the bottom jungle, this could have possibly been a fighting location for them, even after using Mag BKB and RP. Because this man disadvantage is really big. Like, Invoker is such a big part of what Nigma brings to the fights.
Indeed.
But they get the kill and get out. It's a big kill. That should probably give them some breathing room.
Spear just misses. Tim's able to get off his ult, trying to clear this wave a little bit before inevitably getting out. Still plenty of time on the Aegis for ILTW.
Aegis really trying to get in there.
And we do see the Deso finished on mind control, so easy tier 2. All right, is this, I mean, the next 3 minutes, 40 seconds. The building damage, you know, not the greatest, but now that you have the Deso onto Mars, it becomes a little bit respectable at least. It's not like you have a Leshrac on your team from Nigma's perspective. He gets a Blink Dagger. I was expecting a Shard on Lesh this game, considering that they're a little bit behind and they keep losing the Aegis, and they, you know, the high ground defense is going to be ultra important for them.
It's definitely something he should consider as his next item, I would say. Also, just because they have some, I feel like it's really good synergy with Pango. Like, he has so much chain stun that you should be able to land at least the secondary Split Earth afterwards. You also have Viper Strike, very potent and slow to land the second stun as well. So I would agree, it's a good pickup here. His main concern might be that if he goes that route, he's still very susceptible to Ursa, right? He has no armor. It's an Ursa that's going to get Thunderstrike and Alacrity, so...
Timeless Relic on Miracle. Pretty good. Although I think they may have gotten Spell Prism as well, if I'm not mistaken, so I don't know what they would choose. He'll
still take the Relic for sure. No, he gave it to GH. Okay.
I don't know, Spell Prism's really... I mean, both of them are extremely good, so...
I would probably, on average, I would say these are the 2 best tier 4 items in the game.
Yeah.
Obviously, some heroes don't really benefit very well, but it's difficult to build a lineup where you don't feel like, wow, one of these items is just amazing on my hero for 2 of your teammates.
They're very consistent, and the Leveler is like, well, Trickster Cloak, I would say it's extremely good now as well.
Yeah.
The Invis and the resistance that you get. Leveler is like one of those, like, sometimes you use it, sometimes you just backpack it in case you're pushing the tower, which I think might be the case for that. Although no, Mind Control's going to hold on to it.
Why does Armel not have a neutral item? I got one now. He got the cloak. Okay, that's right.
He could, yeah, that's a good choice.
So good on Lesh.
Absolutely. Now you have to have some sort of vision if you're Nigma. Whoa! You barely need any vision to take out that Enchantress. Goodness gracious.
Scotty on Viper.
Yeah, that is, wow. I mean, it gives a lot of stats and the minus HP regen, I guess, but...
More kiting against Ursa.
Yeah.
Kind of would have liked maybe a Halberd.
Halberd would be really good. Gabby gets the RP off. Armel with the BKB Split Earth combo, and they take him out 2 minutes. No ILTW. Mind Control puts down his Mars ult, but it's really to no avail. Just the AoE damage from Armel is crazy. Nice. Yule's dodging a lot of miracle spells, but there's the refresher shard used in conjunction with that Sunstrike combination. Gabby with the triple kill, though, and this is way too much damage for Nigma to deal with. The Cataclysm wasn't enough. It felt like kind of a panic. Have to use it while we can, but the fact that they lost the Ursa, they lost the Mars, didn't really have any great setup for it. And TNC have just completely turned this game upside down.
I love watching TNC when they're decisive, right? That was so coordinated, that kill.
Yeah.
Everybody knew exactly what they were going to do. It's like it almost felt like they had half a minute to explain to each other what they were going to do, but everyone just knows.
Yeah.
So, great RP into the full spell wombo combo. The Pangolier ulti is covering the back line.
They are getting multiple racks here.
And yeah, Miracle was close to getting multiple kills there with the Cataclysm refresh, but they didn't have anything to keep the enemy heroes in place. And that one death on Ursa could just end up costing them everything. It's at least 2 lanes.
Oh yeah.
Miracle and ILTW both without buybacks.
And the tier 2 tower, the only issue with that is their creeps are not super close in that top lane, so maybe they poke at the tier 4s for now, try to get these buybacks out. Perhaps they reset. We'll see. I mean, Roshan, we won't know for another 30 seconds when he'll spawn, but this game has flipped upside down. 9k net worth lead now for TNC off of 1 RP.
Oh my god, look at the
Beautifully done. Yeah, that's insane. I'm going to take the outpost as well. I mean, what are your thoughts on... I mean, I've been seeing this more and more in the last few months from pro players, but the lack of buybacks for these core players, it seems to be... I don't want to call it a newer trend, but it's not like the old days where you would always have buyback, it feels like, at this stage of the game.
Right. I think it very much depends on the game state. You always need to hold it up against, okay, I can have my buyback or I can have another item, right? Because buyback is so expensive now for cores. So if you're the leading team and you're on the enemy half of the map, in a lot of cases, it's better to have the item because you feel like even if I buyback, if I don't have travels, I can't connect to the fight anyway. You don't have the enemy outpost here, for example, right? As Enigma.
Oh
so.
boy. All right, Enigma need to find something here. Mind control gets the arena. He doesn't find anybody in the fourth step of the high ground, but looks like GH will be able to have the damage to take out Boomy at the very least, but buys back into the game now. No Mars Arena. Tim's doing work with that Rolling Thunder. Actually finds Ursa in the meantime. Just rolls right into him. This is going to be a huge kill inside that Nether Toxin. Pops his ult. RP onto 1. Cataclysm to follow, though. Not going to do that much damage. LTW is pretty healthy for now. Remember, does not have buyback whatsoever. Terrorize onto a couple of heroes. GH trying to do as much as he can as Mind Control spears somebody into the cliff. The chase is continuing. Gabby skewers Ursa basically all alone, being bursted down, eats the cheese, which he still had, but it doesn't matter. More than enough damage for TNC. It looks like they're going to take this series 2-0. And it's like, again, in the last 3 minutes, this game has gone from down, 10k to up 20 for TNC. Unreal.
And I think the biggest lead Enigma ever had in this game was 5k, and they just lost 25k in the last 3 minutes. That's just that one moment. Sometimes that's all it takes. And Enigma obviously had options there. They could have cut their Ursa, right? They could have let him die, been like, okay, screwed up, let's get out. But they tried to stay and fight. They had a feeling, okay, these spells expended, we can still do it with our Invoker Refresher, and that was just the wrong read. TNC, the really, really good moment of opportunity that just won them the whole thing. Definitely were never at a point in this game where they were totally out of it. I think even 5k lead, it's not like that crazy for them to overcome